So in this video we will see about development of teeth, a part of embryology, what happens in your oral cavity when the fetus is in uterus. So that is what we are going to see. We will see about the stages mentioned in our Orban's book or 10 Kids book of oral histology and embryology. This is what have been taught. So let us proceed you all know, like a fetus, before becoming a fetus it is an embryo, a ball of cells. It divides rapidly to form organs. Organogenesis happens in the first trimester. So everything what we're discussing now happens in the first trimester. So these are subheadings which will be dealt in the upcoming slides. What is dental lamina we'll see, and what are these three stages, and what is Hertwig's epithelial root sheath we'll see. In this video we'll see about dental lamina first. So stomodeum is the name given for the primitive oral cavity. So this is the upper part of your of the fetus. Okay. So in this region, this blue part marked here is the primitive oral cavity. It is a depression. So this is your forebrain, where your brain is developing. This is depression forms here, which is your future mouth. So initially the name given is stomodeum. It is lined by stratified squamous epithelium. So this primitive oral epithelium contacts the endoderm of the foregut. The green color thing which is marked here is your foregut, the future digestive tract. So this foreduct endoderm contacts with the primitive oral epithelium or the stomodeum. So this place is known as buccopharyngeal membrane. This buccopharyngeal membrane will rupture so that your oral mouth, your oral cavity is opening through which food enters through your gut. So this buccopharyngeal membrane which was previously present here will rupture. At 27 days of gestation, this happens, roughly 1 month. So the buccopharyngeal membrane ruptures and primitive oral cavity is formed. It communicates with the foregut. There is a communication from the external environment to your foregut. So at this stage, 2 or 3 weeks after rupture of buccopharyngeal membrane, that is around 30 weeks, what happens is basal cells of oral ectoderm in certain areas alone. Consider this is your oral cavity. So this is your oral cavity. This will be your future maxilla. This will be a region of the future mandibular arch. So this part's marked in violet region. It will be your future maxilla and mandibular arch. There, certain areas alone, that is, to be particular, future areas where teeth will be present. So in those regions alone, certain basal cells will start proliferate rapidly. So this is your maxilla and mandibular arch. Here certain areas where the teeth are going to be present, their proliferation happens rapidly. So it is known as primary epithelial band. It invades the underlying ectomesenchyme. So ectomesenchyme is the connective tissue component of your ectoderm. Okay, so the mesenchyme which is present beneath the ectoderm is known as the ectomesenchyme. So in the ectomesenchyme, along the dental arch, the primary epithelial band invades. At 7th week, we were talking about 30 days, right? 30 days is around 4 weeks or 5 weeks. Now around 7th week, primary epithelial band divides into two. Dental lamina. So consider this is your primary epithelial band. We saw here, right? Primary epithelial band. It divides into two in certain areas like this. So the lingual part is known as the dental lamina. The buccal part is known as vestibular lamina. The dental lamina will form your tooth bud. We will see about that. Vestibular lamina, as the name suggests, it will contribute to your labial vestibule or buccal vestibule. So from the primary epithelial band, there is two divisions. One is dental lamina and another is vestibular lamina. The lingual part is the dental lamina. Let us see about dental lamina now. So this is the lingual part of the division from the primary epithelial band. Dental lamina is the primordium for ectodermal portion of the deciduous teeth. This dental lamina, so this part will contribute to the ectodermal portion, which is the ectodermal portion we will see now. Okay, some will be derived from the ectomesenchyme also. The dental lamina has a total lifetime of activity of 5 years, after which it will become inactive. So the dental lamina again has two extensions, distal extension and lingual extension. Okay, so dental lamina has a distal extension which will give rise to the permanent molars, and dental lamina will have lingual extension which will give to permanent successors. Let us be clear. Okay, before that you need to know there are 20 primary teeth and 32 permanent teeth. 20 primary teeth will not have premolars, right? And 32 includes molars. 3 molars with 2 premolars. So, for example, if there is a primary central incisor, it will have the dental lamina of the primary central incisor will have a lingual extension for future permanent central incisor. Okay. Now, a primary molar will have, primary second molar to be specific, will have a distal extension for permanent molars and lingual extension for permanent premolars. I hope you understood. If any doubt, please ask in the comment section. So the distal extension of the dental lamina will give rise to permanent molars, and the lingual extension gives rise to permanent successors of the particular tooth. Remnants of the dental lamina remains in gingiva is known as cell rests of Ceres. It is an important MCQ. There are cell rest of Malacis, cell rest of Ceres. Cell rest of Ceres is nothing but remnants of dental lamina. Malacis we'll see later. What happens inside the dental lamina? Inside the dental lamina, the ectodermal cells multiply and grow into knots. Inside the knobs, it actually penetrates into the underlying mesenchyme. So this is the underlying mesenchyme. It penetrates into the underlying mesenchyme. And at this stage, it is known as the enamel organ. Depending on the shape of the enamel organ, different stages are named. If it is this shape, the first shape after the dental lamina bud, if there is a depression here, if it divides into two and if there is a depression, it is known as cap. And see the shape. If it is of bell shape, it is bell stage. In bell stage, you have early and advanced bell stage. So inside the depression of cap here, you could see here, right? Inside the depression of cap, ectomesenchyme increases in number. It proliferates. So this region is known as dental papilla. Inside the depression of the cap. So this is the dental papilla, and surrounding it, this region is known as dental sac or dental follicle. It is also highly active and highly proliferates. So enamel organ, dental papilla, dental sac, all three together forms the tooth germ. This is the enamel organ, this is dental papilla, and this is the dental sac. All three together forms tooth germ. Enamel organ is ectoderm in origin, dental papilla and dental sac is ectomesenchyme in origin. So the ectoderm component will give rise to enamel, whereas dental papilla just beneath it, it will give rise to dentin and pulp, and dental sac, okay, the surrounding region of the pulp of the dental papilla, and so this region will give rise to cementum, periodontal ligament and alveolar bone. The dental organ, enamel organ, will give rise to enamel, as the name suggests. It is an ectodermal component. Dental papilla of ectomesenchyme will give rise to dentin and pulp. The dental sac or follicle which surrounds the bud. Okay, this is also a form of the tooth germ. So this part will gives rise to the supporting structure, cementum, periodontal ligament and alveolar bone. So this is about your tooth bud or tooth germ. In the next video, we'll see about the first stage or the bud stage of enamel organ.